Yeah, so we're hearing a lot of stuff in the news about, oh, interest rates are coming down, and guess what? They have. So we're really excited about this opportunity as we come into the end of this year and the beginning of next year. So I think we're in a really unique and interesting window, and it may only be 3 to 6 months where interest rates are come down, but
Yeah.
the buyers haven't flooded into the market yet.
Yeah.
So we still have the ability to negotiate with sellers for price or for concessions for closing costs and get the low rate. But as more and more buyers start to realize this, I think more and more buyers are going to come into the market, and it's going to flip from a buyer's market back to a seller's market.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Pros podcast. I'm Kristen, and I'm here with Anthony Candalino, who's a mortgage broker at Certified Mortgage Planners, and they're in Central Florida. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure.
And you are known as Tony the Mortgage Guy. Do you prefer Anthony or Tony?
I prefer Tony because usually if somebody's calling me Anthony, that means I'm in trouble somewhere. So
Tony it is. Well, awesome. Well, we're going to get all into kind of the landscape of the market and, maybe common questions you have about borrowing money, which will be awesome. So let's go back to the beginning. How did you get in this industry?
Well, a couple of things. When I was in high school, I was homeless, and so helping folks own a home has been my kind of passion
Yeah.
recently. So that was when my senior year, my parents split up, and one went to Pennsylvania, or we were in Pennsylvania. One went to Wisconsin, one went to Florida, and I left. I stayed in Pennsylvania. I was like, I thought I was smarter than I was, and it said I could do this, I could live on my own, and I did graduate high school, but it was not fun couch surfing for half my senior year. But
Wow.
just not having a place to live, it really created a passion for what I do right now. So
Mhm.
and then recently, like, obviously I had a whole life since then, and about 10 years ago, my sister-in-law said that you need to get into this business, and that's when I reignited that passion. And again, like 10 years ago, we got into this, and it's been no holds barred ever since.
That's amazing. So you had a passion for it, when you were younger, and then you've kind of reignited it now. So that,
Yeah, I mean, I think the reigniting of my experience in the past was kind of what helped me reignite the fact that this is something that I want to do for other people. I don't want
right.
people to have to go through what I went through. Yeah, that's what's really drives me every day to make sure that everyone can own a home.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really great story and passion to have. It comes from the heart for sure. And you also have some investment properties as well, correct?
I do, I do. So, I think my biggest regret in my home buying experience as ever selling a home. So
Yeah.
I bought and sold homes several times, and then after my third time of selling my home, I realized, well, if I just kept those homes and rented them out, I'd be way more wealthier than I am right now. So I at that point when I made that realization, I said, well, I'm never selling a home again. So now when I buy a new home, I keep it, I rent it, whether it be long-term rentals or Airbnbs. We're doing a couple of those too. So yeah, that's been my evolution in owning real estate.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good perspective on it because I feel like everyone has different goals within the real estate investing world, but I think that there's a lot to be said about buying and holding for sure. What did you get into that before you started being in the mortgage broking industry?
Yeah, well, no, actually, I think getting into the industry is what made me realize I should have never sold my other homes. So, it's been over the course of the last 10 years that I've been able to acquire more and more properties and knowing the different ways to get them financed and know that, you don't always have to have a ton of money down to be able to own investment property. So it's just in the way you structure it and the way you plan things ahead of time to be able to do that.
Yeah, I would love for you to drill into that a little bit because I think that's a very common misconception. Yeah, just kind of expand on that you don't need that much money down.
Well, obviously, if you're already a seasoned investor and you're just looking to straight up just buy another investment property, then the typical 20 to 25% down does apply. All right. However, there's a lot better strategies at doing that if you plan ahead to where, okay, the next house I'm going to buy is not my forever home. I'm going
Right.
to live in it for a year, learn, maybe fix it up along the way, and then look at buying my next home, and then I'll turn that into a rental. And that's kind of how we've kind of acquired properties. Now I'm doing a little bit differently where we're buying things at 20% down. But the first few, if you just typically get a normal lower down payment mortgage, 3 to 5% down, live in it for a certain period of time, and then that next property you're looking to purchase will be your new primary residence, and then you look to and rent that the old property out. And I think that that's a good strategy to go. Now, it's not as fast, but typically building wealth is not fast. So you want to make sure that, you're planning this out years ahead of time.
Of course, and I think that your industry, what's so interesting about it is it's very creative. You have a lot you can look at a lot of moving pieces. Yeah, and it's not really, a transactional type business. Can you talk about maybe the difference working with you rather than something like an institutional bank?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different business types of mortgages and mortgage brokers and different institutions that offer mortgages out there. You've got, your walk in the door type banks, and you've got your online lenders, and then you got me. So when it comes to your walk in the door type banks, I think that it's important to realize that they don't have to have the education that someone like myself has to have to originate a mortgage. All they have to do is register their name on a website. And then so typically they don't know how to originate a mortgage. They're a banker, right? Their number one priority is to accept money or be a depository. They do mortgages on the side. It's kind of like a side business to them. So then what they typically will do is, okay, well, fill out this application. Let me collect your documents, and then it'll go in a file somewhere. Or here's a pre-approval letter. And then they just kind of throw that out there to see what'll stick.
Okay.
And then when they find a house and get under contract, and that contract comes back to that registered loan person, they just take that file back out, put the contract in it, and mail it off to Indiana somewhere where some real loan originator will have a chance to look at it to originate the mortgage. Here's the problem, is that typically they don't know what they're looking at to see what speed bumps they may have through those documents and through that application to handle that stuff up front.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, and I've been the recipient of this as well, where like they get to 3 or 4 days before the closing, and all of a sudden out of blue, they've got a denial. And it's not a conversation. It's just a letter. And now they've lost their earnest money deposit. They've lost their appraisals and inspection money. And there's nobody to talk to explain even why this has happened to them. So
Right.
that's a lot of experience. Now, don't get me wrong, walk in the door type banks, if you're a cookie cutter, borrower that's got great credit and W-2 job, been there for 20 years, and you got plenty of money, they'll find a way to get you, those are the easy ones.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And that's what they're doing. They're kind of just scraping the top, getting the easy stuff out of the way, or taking advantage of those things. And they don't have a care in the world for the people that just don't fit in their box. Where, as someone like myself, when I review those documents up front, we're going to look for those possible speed bumps. I've been doing this almost a decade now, and I know where the speed bumps are. So I'd rather tackle that up front, so that when we get to the point of being under contract, it's a smooth, referable process all the way through, and it's a happy experience. So
Absolutely.
that's kind of the experience with a walk in the door type bank. But then you've also got your online lenders, right? Now, there's a lot of talk about AI in this industry right now, and there's some fear going around in the industry of, AI is going to take all of our jobs, and it has taken some jobs.
Yeah.
I still believe that when you're making the largest financial decision that you're going to make life to date, it's important to have somebody you can pick up a phone and call, even if it's 8:00 on a Friday, right? And you're not tied to a 1-800 number. Typically, real estate happens after the 9 to 5 hours. So if you don't have someone that you can call in an evening somewhere or throughout the weekend, you're hamstrung, right?
Yeah.
And so that my fear is if too many people start going to this AI thing, our industry could suffer drastically.
Yeah, I mean, AI isn't right all the time. It definitely has its flaws, especially, it's still the beginning of AI. So I totally agree
And
with
it's
you.
only as good as the information you put in it. And typically, when you do a mortgage application, you don't know exactly what they're looking for. It says, okay, how much do you make a month? Well, does that mean net income? Does that mean gross income? Do I take out my child support, or do I take out taxes? Or, there's so many variables that AI just cannot figure out.
100%. It's a huge benefit of working with someone like you. And I know that something that you're really good at is your flexibility. So you're able to really help people in their unique situations.
Yeah. So, I mean, being at Certified Mortgage Planners, it allows me to not only, we do some private money lending in-house where we service it, but 90% of the stuff we do, we're able to shop around 39 different lending institutions on the wholesale side of the market, which a lot of times gives us the ability to be better priced than most other lenders out there, especially your walk-in-the-door type banks. So, yeah, that's a huge benefit of being that, when I have that flexibility.
Amazing. And, you've been doing this a while and you've seen the market kind of shift and change. I'm curious just where you think we're at right now. I think there's a lot of, information being thrown around. People are a little confused. So, what's your perspective on the market?
Yeah, so we're hearing a lot of stuff in the news about, interest rates are coming down, and guess what? They have. So we're really excited about this opportunity as we come into the end of this year and the beginning of next year. The common misconception, though, when it comes to interest rates is that when the Fed lowers interest rates, it has nothing to do with the mortgage industry. They're talking about lowering credit card rates and car loans and now HELOCs, home equity lines of credit. The Fed only controls short-term interest rates, not mortgages. Mortgages are controlled by how mortgage-backed securities are traded on the bond market. So now, while some of the same things that create the effects in when the Fed reduces rates, some of the same things that causes that will cause our rates to come down too, but
Right.
it's not a direct effect. So kind of chuckle when someone comes to me and says, "Oh, well, the Fed dropped 50 basis points. Should my rate drop 0.5%?" Well, no, I'm sorry. It's something different. Okay. However, I think that we're really in a unique situation right now where w- interest rates have come down and the buyers haven't flooded into the market yet.
Right.
Now, we know what happened when buyers flooded into the market. What was it, 3 or 4 years ago, right? What
Mhm.
happened to prices then,
Yeah.
Kristen?
Yeah. Well, yep, you're right. I mean, we're
They've
definitely, it's cyclical.
skyrocketed,
Sure. Yeah.
right?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
So I think we're in a really unique and interesting window, and it may only be 3 to 6 months where interest rates are come down, but
Yeah.
the buyers haven't flooded into the market yet.
Yeah.
So we still have the ability to negotiate with sellers for price or for concessions for closing costs and get the low rate. But as more and more buyers start to realize this, I think more and more buyers are going to come into the market, and it's going to flip from a buyer's market back to a seller's market.
Totally. And I mean, you hit on something where there's no perfect market. It's either interest rates or it's competition. There's no perfect situation, but you're right that we are entering kind of a really unique window.
I agree. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So, as you help people through this really, in a lot of cases, this really big financial purchase that means, maybe it's someone's first home or, obviously it's someone's biggest equity asset. How do you guide them through that? And what do you look for in people that that you work with?
So there's a difference between a mortgage planner and just someone that writes loans. Okay.
Yeah.
We truly believe in looking at the entire financial picture for folks.
Okay.
So you may do an application with us and couldn't be approved for $500,000. And we may get together on a Zoom meeting together and look at our, your total financial picture and realize, hey, it may not make more sense to put 20 or 30% down on this home when you're carrying a lot of consumer debt. So we'll talk about those things. We really want to be, look at the whole financial picture.
Yeah.
So if I think it's better advice to say, hey, let's put less money down on the home, let's pay off some of this high interest consumer debt that you have, and now we're reducing monthly outlay as a
Right.
whole. That's something that we do as part of our process, and I think that sets us apart from a lot of other lenders that are just looking to close a loan.
Yeah.
Right? We want to be your lenders for life. We want to be your mortgage advisor for life. This is the largest financial decision and the largest piece of debt that you're going to carry in most cases, life to date. So we want to make sure we're looking at that whole picture.
Yeah, and you touched on the fact that you go really deep into something rather than just making it a quick transaction. And I'd love for you to talk about the benefit of that as well, because I think a lot of people are maybe concerned about, well, I just want to get this done now.
Yeah, yeah, and not for nothing, I lose a lot of business that way because some people are just and our attention spans are short nowadays. We got all these phones that are just dumping dopamine into our systems, and everything's fast action and quick, quick to get that answer. When it's really important for us to do that more longer term financial plan, and I lose business to some of these online lenders that just spit pre-qualification letters out. But guess what? Listing agents know that this is not something that they've fully looked at when it comes in with some of these online lender names. So we want to make sure that you're working with a local lender that has gone through all of your documents so that you have that full pre-approval.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really great point, and I mean, that it's a good point that the work shows. I mean, you can't really skirt around it. You can't take the shortcut and expect the same result. You've given a lot of good advice on the market and kind of just the general mortgage landscape. What would be maybe like a piece of advice that you wish more people knew when they were lending or when they were borrowing? I'm sorry.
So again, I think working with a local lender is very important. I think looking at reviews is very important. I've worked very hard to establish myself as the number one reviewed mortgage lender in the Central Florida area on Zillow. So there are companies with more reviews than me. There is not a single originator with more Zillow reviews than me in the entire Central Florida area. I think we're up to like 180.
Wow.
Every single one of that. Well, let me say this. We have 180 reviews and 179 of them are 5-star reviews. There's
Wow.
always going to be that one that,
Of course. Always
that
love
didn't have a good experience. And guess what? I'm not a good fit for every single person out there. All right. So, and that's okay. However, we are the number one reviewed lender in Zillow in the Central Florida area. And I think that it shows. So I think that looking at reviews is very important. Finding a local lender that you can trust is very important. And then finding a lender that is paired up with your real estate agent. So I think when shopping for a real estate agent, that's just as important when shopping for a mortgage person.
Yeah.
There was over 17,000 new real estate agents last year in the state of Florida alone. And you don't want to get stuck with a newbie. So a lot of times when I meet a client that's not referred to me by an agent, I'm going to make sure that they're working with someone that has experience, that is a great negotiator, that can help them achieve the goals that they're looking to do. So, that mortgage broker realtor relationship is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this has been so wonderful. You've given a lot of good practical advice, and being well researched is so important because I'm sure there's a lot of like scams in your industry as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because guess what? And I always like to talk about this point because everybody says, "Well, I looked at something online said rates are at 4.99." And the analogy I like to use is, well, if you had a 800 credit score, Kristen, and I had a 400 credit score, and we both looked at the same page on the website and it says interest rates are 4.99, do you think we should get the same interest rate?
Right.
No, right? That's an advertisement. And that's just people out there looking to get somebody to click
Totally.
so that they can sell your information to someone like me that can call you and tell you what a real interest rate for you is going to look like.
Mhm.
So a lot of times you'll find, and I use a newspaper analogy, if you saw it in a newspaper ad and now it's online of three different mortgage advertisements. One said 399, one said 499, one said 599. Well, which one are you going to call first?
I mean, the lowest one?
The lowest, right? You're going to call the 399 one. But which one is probably most accurate?
Yeah, probably.
Probably the middle one or the higher one.
Yeah.
So be real careful about the advertisements you see online. It's all clickbait. They're all trying to get you to click so that they can sell your information. I would definitely make sure that you're working with somebody local, somebody referred to you by a friend or a family member, or somebody with amazing reviews.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, great information again. So thank you so much for being here. This has been, I think a lot of people learned a lot. Where can people find you?
Well, if you look up Tony the Mortgage Guy on just about any social media platform, whether it be YouTube or TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, I'm on all those platforms, and I actually do a lot of live Zoom meetings on TikTok every Friday. So
Oh, nice.
Fridays are my days where I do my Zoom meetings with my clients, and while I don't share their personal information, I do go live on TikTok to share scenarios and things while I'm talking to those clients. So join me on TikTok live on Fridays, and you guys can learn something. And then at the end of every call, I answer questions for anyone that's got mortgage related questions right live in real time on TikTok.
That's awesome. That's so cool you do that. I'm sure people get a lot out of that.
They do.
Yes. Okay. Well, I really encourage everyone to check out Tony online. And thank you again for being here. And thank you, everyone, for
Absolutely. It's a
listening. Hope
pleasure.
you learned a lot. Yeah. And we will see you back next time.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.